Richard Sherman, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, I guess, to a degree true. I don't know how you really measure that, but he's definitely got a lot of fans in the Black community. He got a lot of fans in every community because they're just fans of Prime who want to see him do well, who want to see a guy who's doing things different, who's doing it with flash and charisma and really enjoying himself. He's enjoying it. Seems like the players are enjoying it. It's an underdog story, a guy who you cheered for as a kid, who you cheered for playing the sport, coaching the sport, doing it his way. I think a lot of people can find joy in seeing him succeed. So, yeah, I would say this is true. I think a lot of people are cheering for him.
To re-tee that up for me again.
About the Black community, like a lot of people believe, or a lot of people in the Black community believe that Colorado has become Black America's team.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's become Black America's team. I think it's become wherever Deion Sanders was going to coach was going to be supported by us as African Americans, Blacks, whatever you would want to describe us as. When you look at it, Deion could have been at Nebraska. Okay?
Definitely.
Nebraska's as white as they come. Okay?
I agree. I'm with you.
And everybody would have rolled with Deion because it's Deion. Okay? What happens in these situations is when you are a young Black man or older Black man, whatever the case is, we always look for people that look like us, that are having success. And what tends to happen is often too many times, we are not in certain industries glorified at a certain level, unlike our counterparts. And so what we tend to do is rally behind the success of people that look like us, whether it's in music, television, a doctor, whatever you want to call it, the president, the former president of the United States. We rally behind that because it's important. It's extremely important. Yeah, I live out in the suburbs, okay, and I got all sorts of different cultures and races around me. But I still want my son and daughter who are Black, my kids to understand you can too do this if you set your mind to it. And so you talked about the Fab Five in Michigan, pop culture. Let's go even further back. Let's go all the way to John Thompson in Georgetown and how he galvanized the D.C. community to start with Black folk, but then across the country.
And what at Georgetown, which had been traditionally, historically white.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, but when you got all brothers on the court running up and down, dunking and got the big, the shorts and the first shoe deal, it's just a different situation. And you got a Black coach with a towel on his shoulders showing you there's an opportunity and a way to get an education on top of being phenomenal as a basketball player at a prestigious university on the East Coast in Washington, D.C. was something crazy. I was a kid, and I was drawn to this.
And they were that before Iverson got there.
Before Iverson got there, before Jalen Rose and Chris Webber and all them got to Michigan. So when you look at the way Deion is presenting himself, and that's why for us, and I hate to speak for us, but I'm just saying us as Black people.
Well, speak for you.
For me. I was so crushed when Jay Norvell did what he did. Because
I saw
it. It was crushing. Because Deion worked so hard to get to the position he was in. Whether you believe he deserved it or not. Whether you did it for 30 years and hadn't gotten to a Power 5 school yet. But he did. So rather than uplift the brother, you tried to crush him like a cockroach. So for me, that to me was heartfelt. And it was an alarming thing. So now when you look at everybody on Saturday, including myself, will be on the sidelines, I have to chuckle because I go back to the Don King reference. I'll be all USC, but if they lose, I might be in the locker room with Deion playing the Don King role.
And that would be okay.
And of course, I don't care. You think I really care? I don't care what people think. And in the end, Skip, I'm not going to be the only person at that game that didn't go to Colorado that happens to be Black. There'll be people in the stands that just want to see. You just want to see what it is. That's all.
What about the 80s LA Raiders of Ice Cube and
Yeah, but
NWA?
the LA Raiders, Ice Cube, and NWA, it was a little bit different because it was many African Americans rapping and being in the rap business at that time, whether it was the Sugar Hill Gang or whatever. It was just, it was a ton of them.
Yeah.
This is different, though, because you've never seen a coach, designer glasses. You've never seen a coach who has a Hall of Fame career, could have a Hall of Fame career in baseball if he had stuck to it.
Absolutely.
You just never seen a guy that do that. We've had great coaches that were ex-players, but you never had great players that became coaches and have the success, although it be HBCU or not.
Yeah.
Let's just stick to Colorado. With the early success that he's had at college, you just don't see it because they don't want to do it. The great guys they just don't want to do it.
Yeah. Richard, more from you.
Yeah, I agree with Keyshawn. It's one of those things that you embrace as a community. You just embrace, like you said. I think you said there was 14 black head coaches in all of major football, college football, which is ridiculous. And hopefully that changes. But he's spearheading that change, and you would hope that people like Jay Norvell, who understand how difficult it is for black men to get head coaching jobs in the NCAA, would be encouraged and enthusiastic about supporting Deion and supporting this cause. And that's the unfortunate thing. But yeah, the black community is getting behind him because he speaks for the culture. You see how Deion speaks. He is unapologetically himself all the time, regardless of how it's criticized, regardless of how it's judged. His team is the same way. They're unapologetically confident. They should be. They lost this game this week. That didn't deter anything. That didn't deter people from continuing to support Deion, continuing to be excited for what he is doing and what he could possibly do in the future. So people thought, hey, as soon as they lose, everybody's going to jump off the train. And no, this is one of those trains that is unflappable.
Skip, as I sit here and I was thinking, listening to you, Richard, or whatnot, you talk about the community of blacks in support. We tend to support our people. There's no question about it, no matter what it is. You think about some of the horrible things that blacks in this country have had to go through. Horrible stuff. But it's never stopped us from wanting to try to accomplish and achieve certain goals and milestones. When you think about Tiger Woods, for all intents and purposes, whatever the hell he say he is, he's black to me. I don't care. When he goes and he wins the Masters, man, brothers are watching the TV. You go in the barbershop, and dudes they watching LeBron and Michael, and But when Tiger's playing, we watching.
Absolutely.
Because whether we want to support it outright publicly, we still watch it.
Even though he once told Oprah he resented being called black. But go ahead.
But that's why I said I don't care about all that. I don't care. You black to me, because we'll go deeper in it if we choose to, but we're not right now. You support that, right? Because you look up and you say to yourself, I can play golf now. I can go to golf courses and he did it, I can do it. And this is what Deion's been able to do. I got a young, and Richard, I got a young coach, high school coach at oh God, what's the high school, Richard?
St. Pius Matthias.
Pius X High School here in Los Angeles. Me and Richard are really good friends with this young man. And DZ, Coach D, is the head coach of Pius X. He too has a dream to one day be Deion Sanders. Okay?
Yeah.
A young black coach who has done well at this all-Catholic school to get them from where they were to where they are now.
Okay.
But he looks up to Deion Sanders. He ain't looking up to Dan Lanning. He's looking up to Deion Sanders.
Absolutely.
He ain't looking up to Jay Norvell. He's looking up to Deion. Because guess where he's from? He's from Watts. Okay? And what people have told him is you've got to change